My name's Elizabeth Gillam and I'm founder and CEO of Franchisee Success. And author of, would you like profits with that? 6 Steps to Running a Profitable Food Franchise. Having owned and operated 3 multi-branded, award-winning franchise business units for over a decade, it was time for me to move on. I was known as a black belt by my 3 respective franchisors, but it was time for me to get my weekends back. As the business has sold, I was approached by my former franchisees to mentor the existing franchisees in the system. I went into store and worked with them side by side, implementing the procedures that I used in my store to turn their business around. Franchisee Success was born. It was a success from the get-go. I was earning more money than I would have had I returned to my previous occupation of accountant. I had time to enjoy the things I loved doing. Plus, I had a freshly written book, newly edited, all ready to go to the printers. But something was stopping me. Something was just not quite right. It didn't feel stable, nor did it feel sustainable. So I started implementing the KPI method, and what I found was that I created high-performance franchisees. I also found that I had a product, but I didn't have a method. So I set about writing the 6 steps over 3 stages that, when implemented, the franchisee could see in as little as 5 minutes that their business was on track. Throughout the 40-week program, Brand Accelerator program, I had access to a book writing mentor who worked with me step by step, every stage of the way, to be sure that the book, when it was finally released, was something that the market was after. I also had access to other mentors who dug deep and dove down into what it was that I really did. And what we found was that I had content, but I didn't really yet have a book. I had a product, but I didn't have a process. And I had a website, but I really didn't have a brand. Throughout the 40 weeks, I was also surrounded by 50 other like-minded people who were doing the same program that I was at the same time, so they were experiencing the same things as I was at the same time. Their energy and enthusiasm was contagious, and they kept me accountable, which, as Glenn would say, allowed me to GSD, get shit done. Creating a personal brand is a new concept, and a concept that not many people understand. I have now released my book, a new and revised version, a version that I'm very happy with, and it's one that I know my target market want and need. It outlines the 6 steps of my method that can be implemented whilst reading the book. My book has been picked up by Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Fish Pond and Foyles. I also have a spectacular brochure that outlines succinctly what it is that I actually do, which is I work with people from the very first moment they think, I might buy a franchise, right through to store ownership and operation. I also have a killer pitch, which I delivered recently to a room full of people. The end result was I walked out of that room with $75,000 worth of work, new work, with 3 new franchisors that I've never worked with before. So KPI to me is all about getting it right. It's about trusting in the process to create yourself a personal brand. It means that the time, money and effort that I invested in myself doing the KPI program paid off. The first time I did my killer pitch, which was, I'm Elizabeth Gillam, I work in franchising and I create high performance franchisees. Thank you.
Please give her a big round of applause.